What's up, Liquefied Podcast? This is Raw.
Yeah, sweet. Raw. It is raw, right?
Yeah, just Raw.
Cool. Is this in his face? This
No,
mic?
he's good.
He's good?
Yeah, he's
Because we want to keep this beautiful face.
He's good.
I interviewed another guy named Abe, who actually
Okay.
looks... Yeah.
Yeah,
Who looks...
crazy.
similar.
He's Mexican, though. I'm Egyptian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
no.
I don't even think I believe that you're Egyptian because I saw you walking in here, dude, and you walk like a normal dude.
I love that you said that.
Like
What do you mean, normal dude? Like,
I watched him move a girl in here. See, if you didn't have this, I wouldn't believe you because I know for a fact that all Egyptians just like walk like this, like for sure. And I saw you roll up and you were walking normal. Actually, I know he's a nice guy because he like was helping my neighbor moved in when I came out to get him in. I was like, hey, how's it going? Hey, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm moving in your neighbor. Like, okay. That girl that I was talking about was needed the rat. She was trying to prop the door open, and I was like,
Oh, I saw with the hook. I was like, dang, that's
Yeah.
dangerous. Someone's got to.
I told her, I was like, you could just use that, because we have like a gray rat trap thing over there. And I was like, you just use that rat trap. And I said that to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend went over to use the rat trap. And she's all like, no, oh, hell no. You know me using none of those rat traps. I was like, yeah, I guess. Probably don't touch the rat traps. That's not a good introduction to the old studio here that we got rats. I haven't seen any. But, yeah, I think it's a rat-free environment.
I
probably
just
'cause
can't
of
believe you were
traps.
able to pull this off. Like, this is impressive.
yeah, it's very nice. Really nice.
Oh, thank you guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of fine details. A lot of
IKEA, I'm guessing.
some IKEA going on. There's some Guitar Center. There's some
I didn't know there was a black version of this desk. I've seen this desk online, but I didn't know there was an all-black version of it.
that special order green screen, bro.
Gosh, that's nice.
You're acting like he did when he came over. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He just like wouldn't even talk to me for like the first like
Just like
10, 15 minutes.
I mean, it's a nice. It's definitely something to appreciate. Like
Yeah.
taking effort to put something like this together.
Exactly.
It's definitely it deserves to be taking a second to appreciate it. It's
Yes.
nice.
Mhm. Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, it keeps me motivated to do stuff. I actually saw a post that you made about how you have a hard time just enjoying your downtime because the competition in the DJ and production world is so thick that that's all people are doing. And the second that you're playing video games, you just know deep down inside. He's a producer too.
Mhm.
So is she, actually.
Yeah.
You guys can't see him off of camera, but we got Jamie and Aduke over here, both producers, Tech House and Trance. You can only enter the studio if you are a producer. No, but so they're gonna be kind of a part of the action as it goes down. But yeah, I feel that way too, dude. Like really, and I don't know if it's. I honestly ask myself, is it a good thing or a bad thing that I feel that way? But I definitely will, if I'm doing anything leisurely, I'm like, oh man, I could be working on music right now, and it's like, how do you feel about that?
It's a struggle, especially because of my situation in my personal life. I came from nothing. Like my parents were immigrants. We came here. My dad actually used to be like a gold jeweler. Actually, he was the man in Egypt. Like he was like the shit. Like people walk up to him, shake his hand, and he basically sacrificed everything for us to come here. But basically, he had to start over. We came to America. We were like nobody important. My dad ended up working in a factory. My mother is still working like at J.C. Penney. I don't come from anything at all. And of course, because they're so busy with stressing out about bills and taking care of me and my siblings and just trying to stay afloat, they never thought to put me into music. I don't play any instruments. I never picked up anything at all. So that to me, I feel at least is a disadvantage. Of course, I know lots of successful, superstar producers who have made it without having the musical background. But to me, I would have definitely benefited from that because I have so many friends who, so many producer friends who started out playing an instrument or playing something else. Any type of understanding of music theory was such a big help to them and to their progression as producers and their workflow and the tracks that they are able to just knock out so fast because they already have that understanding of what music is. I didn't have that. At 21 years old, I decided to pick this up. I decided to, go for this thing that seemed super practical. We're in an era where everyone is like, okay, this is the template. You go to high school, you get out of high school, you go to college, you get a degree, and with that degree, you find a normal job or whatever, corporate, doctor, all that type of stuff, anything like that. That's the template you were supposed to follow, and that wasn't me. I was always just felt so mundane being at school and just couldn't focus on in school. I couldn't focus on or I don't know. I don't have ADD or anything like that. It's hard for me to invest my mental attention on things that don't interest me. The things that just bore me.
Yeah.
And I could not just follow the template. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I was always that kid who had headphones in his ears. Always. I was like, of course, I was like, an outcast. I was one of the kids who like didn't really fit in with a clique. That at the beginning was a very hard thing in the middle school. Like, definitely felt alienated. Later in high school, I embraced it, and I loved being different. I loved being a person who didn't have a clique, who clicked with every crowd. I embraced the hell out of it. But back then, I didn't. When I was in middle school and still getting picked on. I was overweight. I was foreign. I was weird. I was a nerd. Everything that a kid could get picked on for, that was basically me. So I just stayed in my headphones. Music found itself to me a long time ago. And back then, it was like, rock and acoustic music and even R&B. I loved R&B. Like Usher, Omarion, like
R.
stuff
Kelly.
like that. I don't know about R. Kelly. Honestly, the only thing I ever knew about R. Kelly was that music video, Trapped in the Closet, because it had so many parts. I was like, this is getting ridiculous. But yeah, it was. That was when I connected with music. Is when I was alienated from everything else, and I'd never ever thought that it would be a career. I never thought that it would be my destiny. You could say that, whatever. I just, at 21 years old, it's crazy how it happened. I was already in the scene because of my first show. The first show I ever went to, I tell people this all the time because it's still mind-blowing the price I got it for. It was a $13 ticket back in 2011 in Charlotte at Amos South End. This was the lineup. Zed, opening up for Porter Robinson, opening up for Skrillex.
$13.
$13.
#dope.
That was that night changed the course of my life. Because of that night, like it's a butterfly effect. It's crazy if you really think back about how one moment or one event was taking out of your life where you would be right now. It's sometimes scary. We're here in America because my parents won a Visa lottery. What if I never won that? What if my parents never won that?
You'd be DJing in the pyramids.
I would probably wouldn't even be DJing. I would be a completely different version of me. Probably someone single-minded, living on tradition and an old way of thinking, and probably super prejudiced. Who knows? It's a scary thought. I probably hate that version of me. It's all by just one incident changed the whole course of my life. And then this was the next one, was going to that show, experiencing that music live. And it was kind of like, it was actually my first concert ever, any genre. It was my first concert.
Wow.
So that on top of it being electronic music and it being Skrillex, like crazy, dude, the impact it had on me. And from then on, I was just like dove into electronic music even more. Always just like downloading. I didn't have any thoughts about being a DJ. This was 2011. Just downloading so
What were
much
you using
music.
to download?
Oh, LimeWire for sure. I think LimeWire was still active back then, or was it shut down? No, LimeWire was probably shut down by then. It was a bunch of other websites where there were these websites that could pull from like iTunes and stuff. Like, I was too broke to like.
Oh yeah,
for
we all were, dude.
Yeah, for the amount of music I was downloading, no way I could afford it. No way I could like everybody was illegally downloading back then, and it was acceptable. Now it's more of unacceptable because like, especially as an artist, you're like, yo, artists got to make their money. It's. But yeah, back then I was downloading so much music, and and I discovered new genres by downloading new music because it was dubstep that got me in there. Skrillex, he's the main reason that I got into electronic music and like listening to it. But I didn't realize until later I've been listening to electronic music way before that, because at 10 years old, I was staying up late one night, and Toonami came on for like a special midnight run. It typically comes on at 5 o'clock, every like Monday through Fridays for like Dragon Ball Z and Gundam and all these dope animes. But Toonami decided to come on at 12 o'clock at midnight on a Saturday, and it was nothing but a promo, and it was for music videos for up and coming artists. And that night, I discovered the Gorillaz and Daft Punk at like 12, 10 years old, something like that. And I was hooked. It was the first 4 episodes of Daft Punk's Discovery album. They created a whole anime for it. I don't know if you ever watched it. It was called Interstellar 555.
I've seen a lot of the Daft Punk stuff, but not the anime one before.
Yeah, the whole Discovery album. They created a whole anime for it. Every song was an episode or a chapter of this long story about these this alien band who got captured and brought to Earth, and they were transformed into humans, and they're called the Crescent Dolls. So you ever see someone wearing a Crescent Dolls on their shirt? That's an homage to Daft Punk.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I watched that and I was like hooked, and I always loved Daft Punk since then, since 10 years old. It's crazy. But later on, Skrillex is the reason why I actually dove deeper and deeper into it. I think I discovered Prodigy when I was like 17.
Dude, I was just sitting in here just last night, and Joanna, my wife, had never really seen any of the Prodigy, or she kind of missed it. And I was watching all of their videos, like from their live shows in like 1996.
They're wild, bro. They're wild.
Yeah.
And I discovered them at when I was in high school, and I didn't know what their music was. I just liked it. I didn't have a word for it. I didn't know it was drum and bass or whatever. I don't even know what to call Prodigy's music. It's just unique.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but it was electronic music, and I didn't know it back then. So, Skrillex got me into it, and then I dove deeper, discovered house, discovered trance, drum and bass again. Dude, everything hard style. I was like, what? I was like, what? This is called this. This is called this. And it was like, oh, this is bro step. Oh, this is drum step. Oh, this is deep house. Oh, this is tech house. Like, starting to discover like, oh, every rhythm, basically every song with a certain type of rhythm has a genre. It's like there's so many subgenres, and I just dove into it, man. I just loved it. I loved going to the shows, and mind you, I was going to the shows without being fucked up. Never did anything. I'm 27 years old.
That's why you are where you are today.
Yes, and I tell people that all the time, but then they'll argue, well, there's this dude who gets messed up and still successful. It's like, it's some people get lucky. But, I mean, Cascade was super sober, Bass Nectars.
Some people just have that raw talent, and other people just have that hard drive.
Right, and typically...
Some have both.
From what I've seen, those who typically stay somewhat sober,
drink that shit,
and more focused.
I made it especially for you. Cheers, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like I'll drink, but I've never been drunk, and I'll never get to the extent of being drunk.
There's only one shot of vodka in there. It won't fuck
I
you up.
appreciate that.
It won't fuck you up, man. I saw you in a tank top last Friday. You look fucking like a beast, man.
It was hot, dude. It was hot.
Have you ever like fought anybody in the octagon?
I actually tried doing MMA for a year.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I grew up because I told you I got picked on. I quickly had to learn how to fight, because I was really getting bullied. And it got to the point to where anytime someone was picking on me, I had to fight them instantly so that they knew not to do it again. And that's what I was known for. Before music, I wasn't Abe the DJ, I was Abe the fighter. Because it's like I would pop off instantly just because I got fed up. I was just so like angsty. Like, y'all just leave me alone. Don't say shit to me. Don't pick on me. I will fuck you up. And then they learned after a couple of fights, and then everybody just left me alone. So yeah, I was pretty natural at it. So I tried going for MMA, but then realized the training is expensive, and then the health insurance is expensive. So again, I don't have the funds for that. I wish I could have kept going. I was training with Stephen Thompson I don't know if you guys knew who that is.
I don't know who
The
that is.
Wonder Boy. Do you guys watch UFC?
I do. Yeah.
The Wonder Boy is from my hometown.
I do know the Wonder Boy. Yeah.
Me and him, like, we hung out. We're friends. Like,
Sick,
if I
dude.
see him, you know, we say what's up and stuff.
Did you watch
like,
that Khabib fight the other day?
I haven't gotten a chance. Dude, my schedule is so ridiculous.
It's good.
It's not that good because it's a bunch of stuff that's not always what I want to do. Now, like, not always like music pertained. It sucks.
Dude, I mean, that's the majority of people in the world and the majority of people that are working on music, man. It's
Mhm.
really tough to just only do that at like the highest level.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to do what you got to do and just keep pushing through, and I think you're doing fucking just fine. But
And I'm doing the best I can. That's what I always tell people. That's because when someone tells me, "Oh, you're killing it," that never
you
really
are killing
like.
it, man. You're killing it.
I don't know. Like
You are.
everyone. I guess everyone has their own definition of what killing it is.
Killing it is helping a stranger move in while coming over to do a podcast while you had just played a show last week for Feed Me. Fucking killing it.
That's just
That's killing
being
it,
a
bro.
good human. I don't
Exactly,
know.
and a lot of people aren't, dude. And it's really refreshing also to have you come over here and sit down and be able to like talk and be just like genuine and open and like not afraid. A lot of people are scared to say this and that, and you know, I enjoy guests that can just fucking open up. And talk
Well, I mean, I
about
don't
shit.
really have anything to hide. You know, like I mean, I make my journey pretty clear, anyways, because it's my journey is only possible because of the people who support it. Like I wouldn't be here if I didn't have people saying, "Oh, they want to see Raw play." You know, like that's the thing where I don't sometimes get is a lot of artists blow up, they get cocky, they get super just, you know, whatever.
Like a Duque over there. He's a cocky motherfucker. This
He's
dude.
barely saying anything. If that's
oh
what,
man, he's a cocky asshole, dude. Don't talk to him.
but yeah, I mean, it's just it really gets to a lot of artists' heads, but they tend to forget like we're nothing without our fans. Like literally nothing. You're not gonna get booked unless you have
that right
fans. Yeah. You're killing me. Yeah, it's just
Oh, you're right though.
yeah.
For sure.
I
People
mean,
do get cocky. Actually, I've had some people on here that are just like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, you don't have to be too cool.
I know. It gets bad, especially in this industry. I feel like DJs sometimes have to like portray a certain amount of confidence, like, but it's really not even about that. One of my favorite quotes is like this quote that Glitch Mob keeps using. I don't know if they invented it or somebody else did, but they use it a lot, and it's called "Starve the ego, feed the mind,"
Mm-hmm.
or something like feed the mind or feed the soul, something like that. And I love it. Like I mean that's exactly how it should be. Sometimes my confidence and my assertiveness when I'm like defending my brand, like there'll be like say like a promoter will like hit me up or like try like, yo, you want to play the show, you know, I'll give you this price, you know. I was like, bro, that's why are you lowballing me, like come on, you know that's, you know, I deserve a little bit more than that. It's like, oh, when'd you get all cocky on us? I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's not, sometimes there's a difference between ego and then you know, knowing your worth
Yeah.
and defending your worth.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gotten, that's happened to me a lot. You know, a lot of people will have this misconception that Raw's cocky or Raw is full of himself. Like I'm really not full of myself. I don't think I'm killing it. My standard of what killing it is so high. I've got a long way to go before I can ever say to myself or anybody that I am killing it. You know, am I doing great in Atlanta? Absolutely, but that's because thanks to the promoters that give me a chance and the fans that continue to ask for me back. I don't feel like that's all me. That's them. You know, I don't have a lot of music out because of how like I'm really OCD, especially when it comes to that. And also like I'm so starved on time like in my life, which is why I started the event company, which we can talk about that in a bit, but I'm so starved on time that I can't even put in enough time and hours to get to that perfection that I'm always striving for in production. So like it's
It'll
yeah. I mean I know it is just like I thought I was going to be touring by 25. Like when I started this at 21, obviously I was like naive and very like ready to go, and you know I thought everything was going to be rolling by 25. But I've learned many times the hard way that life does not always go the way you plan it. So I'm just trying to still do the best I can. You know, 27 years old, like I know it's gonna happen. I just was hoping I'd be touring in my 20s because I had plans for my 30s and plans for my 40s. Because I don't just I'm not just in this just to be like a super dope DJ and tour and make money and that's it. Like the vision is so much bigger than that, and it's we only have one life. We don't have. I'm not going to be on this earth forever. That's such an important thing. Is like a lot of people sometimes forget. I hate the term, you know, live in the moment or don't worry about the later or worry about the now. Like if you don't worry about the later, then what will you know what to do for the now? Like all that is important to me, and I feel like I'm just I don't know. I feel rushed. I wish I had more time. Like I wish I had more time in my everyday, and I wish I had more time on this earth, just so that this vision I have does have plenty of time for it to unfold. Or else I feel rushed. Or else I'm like, why haven't I, gotten to this point in my career yet, or this point in my career yet? It gets very frustrating, and it weighs heavy. So those types of emotions, those are what keep me grounded and keep me, not full of myself and not thinking I'm killing
Grounded and motivated.
Right. That's a big thing too.
All
and
at
it's
the same time.
it's crazy because stress is such a very weird emotion. It can cripple you or it can push you, or both at the same time. It's so weird. But it's so heavy. That's for sure. But yeah, killing it in Atlanta, sure. Killing it in my region, sure. But again, that's all due to people who support me. It's not just me.
Yeah, I notice a lot of DJs really popping on, the East Coast. A lot of DJs really popping on the West Coast. Some people doing it all over. And, there's like such a different scene over here on this coast. A lot of clubs. I'm going to ask you probably later about some fun ones in Charlotte. I was just up there for the first time in a while. I haven't been back to Charlotte. I'm originally, I went to like kindergarten up in Charlotte and like Rock Hill. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's in South Carolina, which is where I'm from. I grew up in Greenville. I'm from Egypt, but I mean, I left Egypt when I was 8 years old.
Were you born? Okay, so you were born there?
Oh, 100%. Like I still speak Arabic and everything. Like
Cool. Do people walk like, Oh, okay, that joke is so fucking... I'm sorry. I did comedy for a long time, which is how I got into podcasting, because I was like really into like...
improvisation.
Yeah, I did improv over at the Whole World in Atlanta back when I was just graduated in college. But I've always enjoyed like good conversations and like trying to make people laugh and making light of situations and shit. It's just kind of who my personality is. But looking at the Whole World, like you were just talking about being rushed for time, like I see people that are 50, 50 years old, and they're fresh, dude. 50 is like not what it used to be.
I know.
It's like you can do shit. Like we figured out how to take care of ourselves, like physically,
Dude.
and we last longer, and we still do cool shit. I feel you. I feel the same pressures that you're talking about, like with time constraints, and I wish there was more hours in the day for sure. Like even if I'm doing basically anything, if I'm at a pizza joint eating pizza, I'm like, damn, I could be sitting right here right now, like writing a new tune that could, be part of my portfolio and shit, and just trying to grow that. So, I love that you're talking. A lot of people like so many times I wanted to just like be like, oh, like I need to ask him about this, but I guess this will be like one of my favorite longer podcasts, but I'm curious, talk about your vision outside of just being a DJ, like I see you're creating an events company. What's that going to be entail, and how is that going to be different from other people's?
So the whole I made a whole post about it and why I'm starting this event company. So I'm not trying to be like,
Tell a story about how you got your turntables. That was real cool.
Oh, that's right. I did post that as well. So when I decided to pick up DJing, after 2 years of
Actually, can we take a couple steps back? Because like I'm just curious, when you said you went to that festival where you saw Zed and Skrillex.
It was one show. It was just one show.
That's
yeah.
crazy. And that like that wasn't a festival. That was like at a club.
That was at a one like this venue called Amos South End in Charlotte. It was just one show. It was just this one-off show. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I'll step
I just want to
back.
know like what is it about? So you mentioned so many different genres, and like for her, it's trance. It just gets her. She just that's what it is for her. For him, it's like I say he's more like a tech house, like almost like a I don't want to say island, but like percussion, you know, kind of like. Am I right when I say that? That's like kind of what gets into his soul. He's from Cameroon, right? And for me, it's like everything. We can get into that later. But what do you think it is about your style of music? Like, why does that particular genre speak to you? And what genres do you like kind of feel?
So the genre that I'm in, there's really no there's still no like defined name for it. It's either a melodic dubstep or melodic bass. You know, it's so
like Bass Nectar kind of.
no, not even. It's Bass Nectar is still like he's under like he's like the big umbrella of experimental bass music.
Getting
He's
real
just-
granular here.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
It's but no, it's like Seven Lions and Millennium. You know, those are the two biggest names right now in the genre that I'm in.
Millennium's killing it. We
he's
got him
killing
coming to town actually in October.
Yeah, I'll definitely be hanging out at that show for sure. So that's the genre. So melodic dubstep or melodic bass. There's really no actual like term for it yet, but the people who listen to it know it. They just and it resonates, man. That is a
That's her name.
loyal resonate. I like it. I like it.
Resonance, yeah.
That's the that crowd is so loyal, and that gives me just a sense of comfort
You're the guy
in the guy. I don't know if I'm the guy. No way.
in Atlanta. I mean,
Oh well, yeah. For that, oh yeah, I'm definitely the only guy in.
it's cool that
in
you have
Atlanta.
a sound. A lot of DJs don't have a sound that they like embody and like they are true to.
Sure, but I am nowhere near as good as my friends in this genre, which are the closest person to besides me in this region is going to be in Tampa, and he's going to be the biggest of us all. It's Trivecta. That dude is on a whole nother level. He's
What level? Like
he's
7
he's
or
a
8?
he's stepped down from Seven Lions. And I know that's a bold statement to make, but if people listen to his music, they'd understand why. And this dude is the nicest person you'll ever meet. His name is Sam, and hopefully he watches this. He's probably gonna watch it. I fucking
Dude,
love him.
drive up,
Yeah.
Sam, when you're in town. Hit me up.
Oh, for sure. We'll
Hit me on my
definitely
iPhone.
do something like this if I'm obviously planning on booking him with my event company, like for sure. But Sam's actually been one of the most supportive people to me from all the artists I've met. Like I have a lot of bigger artists who support or like put me on shows with them and stuff like that. Sam is the only single person that actually stays on my ass and was like, yo, I know you're going through some hard time, but I need music from you. He's like, I fucking believe in you. Like, I believe in the Raw brand. Come on, like I'm being selfish right now. I just want you to put out music. And no one's ever really done that from all the other producer friends and like the biggest names I've met. Like I'm the ones I'm close with. Like I'm not gonna just say her name drop, but I have a lot of really close, producer friends who are successful in touring. But Sam is literally the only one that's in my ear all the time, and like, yo, I believe in you, like and that's just another part of like kind of the weight that I have on me. Which not that he's putting weight on me, but I want to make these people proud. I want to make these people, have their belief in me worth it. It's just like. There's not enough hours in a day, man. And it's just like, I hate having a day job, which is why I'm starting this event companies. Because the purpose here is not to be the next Iris or the next Liquefied or even the next Insomniac one day. Like, I want to do some really awesome ideas, put together some really cool shows, and hopefully fund Raw, just so I can quit my day job and be sustainable and be able to sit at home and pump out all the hours I need on production. Because people, fans will ask, like, oh, when's the next track or whatever? Like, yo, this thing doesn't just pop out of your butt. Like, this takes time. And then obviously there are producers who can pump out tracks really fast, but that took them time to get to that skill. That is a skill in itself. Having fast workflow, that takes years to develop, or it takes years of musical background. Trifecta is a guitar teacher.
Mhm.
He's like the dude's insane.
Do you play any guitar?
I don't play anything. Remember we broached that earlier. I don't have anything. No musical background.
Mhm.
Taught myself at 21.
Well, you said at the time you didn't when you were saying that, but
Yeah.
you have come a long way since the the old days of the GC.
Oh yeah. I mean, even now, I mean, I have no. I wish that I had the time to learn an instrument, but all the out. If I have spare time, it's going on developing my production even more.
Mhm.
It's like I can't. If I take a second to go learn a guitar, which is my favorite instrument to hear, then I take away time from developing my production, which is the priority right now.
Mhm.
It's
Well, I dig the Egyptian kind of theme that you got going on. Your logo is like the dopest logo in the game.
I don't know about. I mean, I designed it myself, so I'm
Nice.
really happy with it. It's really
Look at that
hard,
shit. Raw.
bro.
The power of raw.
Do you understand how hard it was to develop a logo with only 2 letters?
Yeah.
That was very stressful.
My name's Bo, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, what's your artist name is just Bo.
I have a couple artist names. I do bass music too.
Mm-hmm.
Bass Machina. Which Powerful Bass Machina just signed to 99 Lives last Friday, and we got a super dope fresh EP coming out
Yeah.
in November.
Nice.
Self plug. Very excited about that one. I can't wait. We got a big show coming in San Diego Saturday the 28th at Basement, and you guys should all be there. It's just a $500 plane ticket, so do it. No, I'm kidding. But I'm really excited about that. By the way, if you gotta leave for any reason, feel free to take off.
No, I'm good.
No
Yeah.
hard feelings. I know you're just in here shooting the shit, but because we'll probably go until like 1, 2 in the morning, because Raw knows what's up. But no, I dig the theme. I mean, what?
Yeah, no,
There's none of this, right?
no.
No. It looks like the sickest eagle ever.
It's I think I might have it. Hold on. We're
You
not,
can
I don't,
find him on Instagram, powerofraw_, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where do you want people to find you, like that are listening right now?
I mean, SoundCloud. It's soundcloud.com/powerofraw.
That's badass.
There's no underscore needed there.
dude, I loved the show on Saturday with Feed Me, dude. I was definitely watching you, and it was like you made me want to. That's why I was talking about the octagon, man, because you could feel the fucking power of you, dude. like legit, like you were into it, like you should be, and I think it was cool.
Oh, thank you. It was. I'll be honest. I was a little thrown off once he got on stage. Last time I heard "Feed Me" was like Counterpoint. I was there for his set, and that was when he was still like doing heavy dubstep. I thought that's what he was still doing. I've obviously it's not that I shouldn't be listening to or keeping up who I'm going to open up with or open up for. It was just like I didn't ever expect him to go to techno or go that route.
He just released a new EP, which was a slight deviant from his previous releases. So that's interesting you say that, because, I mean, I was curious as well, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I honestly thought I was so worried I offended him, because I was going pretty hard, because I figured he was going to go way harder. I thought I was building up the night, but I went hard, and then he comes on and plays techno, and I was like, oh crap, because I'm really good at just like being a proper opener. I take that really seriously, because I do believe in building up a night. However, I do hate when venues turn down your sound. It's building the night up is completely fine, by the music standard, but when the volume is let's say you have a full room.
Oh, dude,
because this has happened to me so
preaching to the choir right now, man.
oh, it's horrible, especially when you have to open for tours. Those are the worst. I'm pretty blunt and I'm pretty honest, so I'm sharing information like this is not
Thunder.
who knows what that
Skies have
was.
spoken.
Power of Raw. Fucking
No.
bringing the thunder in.
But yeah, it's just a lot of the tours I play, let's say that the tour's coming into town and they need a local opener. That opener, if you're not making any money, you don't even waste your time, because you're going to get no production, you're going to get no sound, and you're going to have one light on you the entire time, and that's it. That is a horrible feeling, because it's the crowd, you can't even get exposure. They're like, oh, you're doing it for exposure, your name's on the flyer. Okay, so you're just basically flaunting something you can't. How do I explain this?
Monetize or
No, you're basically hyping something up that you can't actually commit to. Like, come catch my sick set, at this show. And then there's nothing sick about your set because you got nothing. Your fans can't experience what you're trying to give them because they're not providing you what you have.
exactly.
And that is bad, not just because like, oh, you feel entitled to lighting and stuff like that, but no, it's not even that.
I agree with you.
I remember have y'all had Halogen on this show yet?
Yeah, we had Josh, and Alex has come over here, but not to talk. We've fucked around in the chair.
Sick. Well, I saw Alex and Josh in 2012 or 2013, something like that. They were opening up for Knife Party at the Tabernacle.
That was his first show, Josh said. We
Yeah.
talked about that on the podcast. He said he fucking showed up. He said he showed up and he was wearing like his old like high school like band T-shirt, and and Alex was like, "Dude, what are you wearing?"
Dude, Alex still had a full-grown beard. He's always looked just like a grown-ass dude. But I wasn't even like playing. I was just still just a person who went to shows.
Down, though?
Dude, it was so bad. Not only did they have them turn down, they also had them hold back. So not even like go heavy or bring up the energy. They're just like playing just like super low tempo things, like these crazy buildups and like weak drops because that's what they were told to do. And me being someone who's just watching, I'm like, God, these dudes suck. I'm like, why? It's like, where's Knife Party? These dudes freaking suck. Get them off. That was my mindset because I thought that was just what they did. And now, years later, and experiencing, playing shows, I was just like, wow, that must be what people think of me when I'm up there and having to hold back and I have no sound and I have no lighting just so that the headliner can look better than me. I'm all for building the night up. But when you're literally shitting on the opener and giving them no room to actually grow, that's fucked up. And it's a waste of fucking time. What's the purpose? Why would I come out and play a show like that? Why would I get my fans hyped up to see me just for them to be disappointed?
Flux, if you're listening to this, you do that. I played this club called Flux in San Diego, and they would always do that, and it kind of pissed me off. I know better than to redline. Like, don't redline your mixer. Just, like, don't do it. But, like, there I would have to because they would have it on, like, volume 1 out of,
bad.
like, 11.
It's really bad sometimes. And what's messed up, it's sometimes in an artist writer. Like, an artist will literally go out of his way, whether it's the artist or his management, whatever, they'll go out of their way to put in a writer. Opener must have 50% sound. Opener must have only 25% lighting. It's in a writer. Wow. It's that bad. And I swore to myself, if I ever got to that size, I would never, ever, ever do some shit like that.
Dude, you just gave me an amazing question that I'm going to ask every single one of my guests now. So if you get to Armin van Buuren level, okay, what's on your rider?
What's on my rider? Like, you talking like funny stuff or like actual crazy stuff?
Both.
I mean, dude, my rider wouldn't be crazy because I don't drink. I would literally rather them pay me out than spend all that money. Because Armin van Buuren riders are like...
You wouldn't have, like, little, like, fucking incense in front of your thing and, like, maybe some, like,
such
Bengal
a waste
cats.
Dude, that's
some
such a waste of money.
Bengals and, like, come on, man.
Dude,
we're in a
Armin
fantasy
van Buuren
right now.
riders are like... are like $1,000. $1,000 cost to fill up a rider for an artist of that size. If I was an artist that size, I would rather take that money and go feed the homeless or some shit.
So your rider would be bucket of $1,000 or like $100 bills, and then you just toss them out to the homeless people.
It would be.
No, that's cool. That just shows how like.
It would just be. It's just I came from nothing. So something like that to me is fucking wasteful, especially because if you're someone that big, you don't even have time to do anything with your rider. You don't got time to eat. You don't got time to drink or do any shit. You're gonna get off the plane. You're gonna go take a nap. Head straight to the venue. Play your show. Back to the hotel. Go to sleep. Next show. You don't even use the rider. It's just there for courtesy. Like, and by all means, if artists want that, go ahead. I'm gonna have a couple of requirements like water, alcohol for my,
Your
guests.
posse.
Yeah, for like, I don't know about posse. Like people who are with me, they have to be serious and professional. Um, but yeah, like just really simple shit. It would never ever be the extent of that's just like clout chasing, man. It's just like ridiculous. I don't know. It's just wasteful. Is in my opinion, it's wasteful. But yeah, again, this industry is very weird, man. There's a lot of artists, like I said, get full of themselves, and then a lot of artists that are just massive, but are still so down to earth and humble. Like, bro, Illenium still will have like a homies night and play fucking Rocket League. He's still Nick. He's still Nick Miller. He's Illenium, but he's still Nick Miller.
I played with him, and so did you. Just this past January, right?
Yes, I've actually opened up for him about 4 times now.
What was that show like? I don't know Chris very well, so that show priced me out. I couldn't go in.
So that show is awesome. I love being on those shows because the fans are appreciative of the music I play. I never have to second guess. I know that the fans are digging what I'm doing because I put a lot of effort and time into it, and they truly appreciate it and can see it. And they're not just there for heavy drops. They're not just there to get fucked up. The fans that listen to my genre of music, I'm proud to say, are there for the right reasons. And I'm so fucking grateful to be in that genre. And yeah, no, it was a great, great fucking show. It was awesome.
What do you think of Nick's new album?
It's great. I made a post about that too. It's a lot of people were saying it's like his weakest album. But I don't see that. I see him truly developing a balance between electronic music and the mainstream, which there's nothing wrong with wanting more people to listen to you. I think that's the whole goal anyways. There are some artists who are purists with their sound, and they're going to always make sure that they don't steer from it, and that's also respectful as well, but not everyone's going to want the same thing. Illenium just it's still him. A lot of people were saying that he's not trying anymore or something like that. And dude, those tracks fucking slaps. Like
They do.
They slap.
Can I say one thing about that as an Illenium fan?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I've seen this happen to a lot of artists that get to a particular point in their career where they need to release an album, and you can see it. You're right. It is him.
Mm-hmm.
The album is him. But you can tell, like, in my personal opinion, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but you can tell that he went with the direction to elevate his music to that formula that can connect with more people. I will call it pop.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm not saying it's bad, but it is him being looked at through the pop lens as his sound, which, like, my favorite artist of all time, I actually have like 5, one of them being Wolfgang Gartner. I watched that happen to him, and it's interesting to see that happen to so many people, and I kind of wonder if I ever reached something like that, I probably would end up doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, his sound is very... It can make that transition.
Would you, Eduque?
I don't know.
Talking to the mic.
I'm not sure.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'm not sure. I think like, people have to be flexible. Whatever works for you, do it.
My biggest inspiration, I mean, it's everybody knows it. I've said it a million times. It is Seven Lions, and the most impressive thing about him is he's been able to basically put out every kind of genre, but it still sounds like him. It's not about the genre, it's about your sound and being able to maintain your theme, your brand, your...
Which you definitely have that, which is awesome. And I love it, too.
I'm trying. It's
good.
It's trying to... So my vision for the sound of Raw, it's very interesting.
Are you gonna have a next album called The Sound of Raw? That's cool.
No.
That's cool though, or something's got to be.
That's all my albums and the plans for all that, dude. All this is already like it's planned out. It's just about finding the time to pump it out. But the sound, if I was to describe what kind of sound I want to put out, it would be a combination of three of my biggest influences, and then, a touch of Middle Eastern stuff. So my biggest influences in music, who have made the biggest impact on me. When I hear their music, I feel something. I feel power coursing through me. This energy. This is just, there's no word for it. Sometimes there's no word for the way music makes you feel. And those three influences are all from different genres. Obviously, for electronic, it's 7 lines. The others are what basically raised me. The music that raised me, the music that was there when I was an outcast, was Linkin Park, 100%. Like that, Meteora and Hybrid Theory are 2 of the greatest albums ever created. Period. End of story. I
like those albums.
Dude,
I had them. I rocked them.
When Chester committed suicide, that was a lot. That hit hard, because that man's voice literally was there to keep me afloat in middle school, keep me afloat when I was young and alienated and rejected and stuff like that. I really, really, really love Linkin Park and their music, and who they were all on their own creating a new genre. Who has rock vocals with rap vocals with a guitar, with a pianist, and a turntable DJ?
Yeah, the Hybrid Theory was totally legit.
Who does that? Nobody did that. It was insane. The closest thing to them is Rage Against the Machine. I love that band too. And then my final influence is Hans Zimmer, because I love cinematic music, and I came and found out that the majority of my favorite scores are by him. The dude is insane, legend, and that's what I want to do in my 40s. In my 40s, I want to score music. I want to score
like films.
Yeah, films, video games, epic shit.
When you're ready, let me know. I know the girl who's doing the Call of Duty and a bunch of big name games for scores.
Sarah?
Yeah, you know Sarah?
Oh, dude, I'm obsessed with her fucking scores on Assassin's Creed. I don't know her personally.
Yeah, I know her personally.
She is a monster.
Friends.
Tell her that I worship her music. Holy crap. Her score
That's
for
awesome, you know her.
Dude, I'm
gonna tag her in this.
Dude, please. Yeah, her score for Assassin's Creed Origins, which is the Assassin's Creed that's set in Egypt. Wow. Dude, I watch
her. Her studio.
Yeah, she plays every instrument.
She's
totally how old is she?
Younger.
Still in her 20s.
Right? No, I think she's definitely probably 30.
Well, she doesn't look like she's in her 30s, so you can, hopefully she heard that. You're lovely. Yeah, dude, wow. Yeah, she is. That's crazy that you know her. She blows my mind. Yeah, she's impressive and pumps them out like that. It's wild, bro. Yeah, I pray to get on her level one day. That's
all right. I'm gonna link y'all up.
Please. I felt very confident one night, and I actually sent her email a whip of me remixing her score for Assassin's Creed Origins. I was obsessed with the game. It's in Egypt, for God's sakes. And I sent it. Of course, I never heard back. Hopefully, she didn't hear it, because I went back and I heard it. And I was like, God, this is fucking garbage. What was I thinking? Yeah, hopefully she didn't hear that. But yeah, that's dude, amazing. Oh my gosh, I would absolutely love to collab with her one day. She is sick. She is so sick.
All right, well, you guys will almost certainly collab after this, and then I want 25%.
I don't even know if I'm worthy yet.
I want the finder's
one day,
fee.
maybe
the finder's fee. Yeah, some people just have the musical genius, and it just she hit that branch on the way down.
Dude, any video game company that takes their music seriously is hitting her up. I looked at her entire roster of games, and dude, what? Impressive. I don't think Ubisoft can ever go to anybody else but her. She is killing it. Dude. Yeah, I'm wild. That's so wild that you know her. That's awesome.
Yeah. Powerful, Sarah Schnashner. Schnashner. So tell me about this vision, man. So your production company, what's going to be different about it? So when I think of you and like you having your own production, I think of like almost like a Tomorrowland-ish type of stage where you go into a whole nother fucking world.
That would definitely be 10 years from now because there's no way I have the funds.
I'm not
for
saying
that.
it needs to be like 6 stories high and like, off the bat.
Certainly, it would. The theme behind my brand. All right, so the raw theme and the celestial theme are two separate like styles. So raw is more of like futuristic Egypt, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I love Egypt. And by the way, at the end of this, I'm going to ask you how you think the pyramids were built, but we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Okay. So that's futuristic Egypt. Celestial is everything like the theme behind that is basically everything divine in all cultures. Like Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, zodiac signs, everything spiritual, basically everything that is more than what we are already. Cuz our world is kind of boring. Like I wish, some of the like the imaginative worlds that we've created, like the Harry Potter worlds or the Star Wars worlds, these
There's
universes.
A new, James Cameron movie coming out. What is that one with the blue people?
With the blue people. Avatar.
There's a new Avatar.
Yeah.
Coming
See,
out.
like all these imaginative universes. Like
Destiny, the video game Destiny.
Destiny. There's so many like creative, made up universes that I wish we existed in, because Earth is pretty mundane. It's beautiful. There's lots of breathtaking locations on Earth, but if you have the money to travel and go see them, but otherwise, what do we do on our daily day? Like we either live in the suburbs or we live in the city, and we follow the same routine, and life just can be very predictable.
I love where this is going, so I'm gonna stop you right there for a second because I want to go deeper. Jamie, would you do me a favor and go grab Joanna and tell her I'd like another mule and the pen? Say the pen is very important. No, I totally feel you, man. But carry on because I want to tell you my thoughts on that too.
Gosh, it's another thing I hate.
People.
Let's talk about this. I'm on
Texting people
I'm on
during
my
the
phone a
podcast.
lot, and I hate it. I hate the amount of stress that this little thing provides me with. It's mind blowing because like I just want to focus on a bunch of things, and then you just have all of this in your face that you have to answer.
So someone's like texting you right now, and you feel like you got to get back to them right away.
It's for like guest list for stuff. Okay, so
well, just so you know, I've had people on there that like are worse than you. They're shaking. Like I took this one dude's phone away.
Dude, I'm enjoying this. I actually would really like for this to be off.
Yeah. When's the last time you actually turned your phone all the way off and left it off for like over an hour?
I mean, when it dies and I have no choice but to leave it off for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's. I mean, that's just like the era we live in. Everything just runs off of this thing.
And they're getting crazier. Apple just released the new iPhone Super Mega 11 Pro Plus with 72 cameras, and like it cooks you breakfast and shit. Like, yeah, it's getting a little out of control. I'm actually thinking about here's what I'm thinking about doing: getting the watch because the watch has cellular, and getting rid of the phone and just because I don't like the size of the phone. Just
dude,
getting
I
the
love
watch
it.
and just keep it in
I
my
gotta go
pocket.
get one. I have to go get a watch.
I'm not even gonna wear it. Just keep it in the pocket, like it's a small, just little phone, and I'll have my AirPods so I could talk on it.
I don't know. I would totally wear it just because I watched Power Rangers growing up, and I've always wanted to like call Zordon, like, yo, beam me up, fam.
My favorite thing about the Power Rangers is like they had masks. Like I watched that as a kid too. They all had masks, so like you couldn't see their lips move. So the only way to tell who was talking is like they had to move. So
Move
they'd be
their
like,
heads.
Quick, we gotta go fight the Megazord. Like, oh, okay, cool. Pink Power Ranger is talking right now. But dude, back on like this life is kind of normal, and like you're talking about these worlds that you can create are like way crazier. Like that's why I think that I'm gonna just let you go off on that, and I'll tell you what I think later. It's not about me. This is the podcast.
No, I mean I'm here to listen to.
Well, I've already said this before, so I don't want to like beat it into the ground. But thinking in terms of what else is out there outside of actual Earth. So when you think about it, like why aren't there like aliens? Why haven't we seen aliens? There's so much out there. There's more stars than there are grains of sand in the ocean. There's more out there than we can possibly imagine. And I know you probably are opinionated on this shit too, so feel free to chime in when you want. But I feel like, think of where we as humans are going to be in just not even far. Like, how long have humans been around? Thousands of years, right? So humans have been around thousands of years. Let's just say, let's go just 50 years. Do you think you're going to be alive in 50 years?
No.
You don't.
Wait.
Yeah, you'd be like...
Oh, yeah, I'd be alive.
Yeah, like 70-something.
I'm pretty healthy. I don't do anything, so...
Thank you.
I would hope so. I don't see why not. Where if I'm still actively doing anything, or if I'm shriveled up already, is who knows. I'm 28. I'm 27 right now.
What I'm getting at is most likely all of us will most likely be around in 50 years.
Right.
Our chances are very good.
Right.
And so in 50 years, don't you think that these worlds that already now we can create, like Destiny, the game, why in the world would you get in a spaceship and travel? The nearest galaxy is like years away, like years. So why would aliens travel to go somewhere when they could just create these cyber worlds and be inside of them? Like, there's no reason to leave when you can just create your world and go into that.
Right.
Is all I'm saying, I'm saying...
There's, I mean, did you watch Ready Player One?
Yes.
That's basically what you just described. Everybody doesn't even live on Earth anymore in that movie. Their actual lives are in the cloud, in the virtual world. And because of their lives are so mundane, they can beat anything they want in the Oasis. I thought that was awesome. I love that movie. It's definitely in my top 5.
So, yeah, in 50 years, I just think it's going to be possible because people are already working on it today to be able to go in.
Full dive VR.
Exactly. Just full physical consciousness inside the VR, and you can have these worlds where DJ Raw is playing on another planet, but you're experiencing it as you're actually there.
Would be amazing. I mean,
cool.
Some DJs have already kind of started that already. I think Rez did one. Rez did one and Kill the Noise did one, and they had VR shows actually.
Yeah, I have that I want this podcast the same vision you have for...
Oh, 360 VR.
Totally.
Oh, wow.
And we're all...
That's sick.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
In real time, like we're not streaming right now, but a lot of times we could stream and it could be in real time and people can chime in and Eduque can take the #1 comment, who has something good to say about your shirt, like...
Miyazaki.
Like what's going on
I
there.
took this from my roommate. I was just like, yo, I'm just gonna wear this.
I'm just taking this, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's not even home, so he couldn't stop me. He'll be watching this later and be like, yo, he's wearing my fucking shirt.
Nice.
It's okay. I do a lot for him, little fucker.
So, I mean, please go on about your celestial and what you imagine this,
So,
vision to
I
look
mean,
like.
for the first couple of years, like I want to put out some really cool show ideas, like grouping of artists that I think would be an awesome show together, stuff like that. And I wouldn't be just one venue. I know a lot of promo companies stick to like one venue. I don't want that. I've actually like made that clear, especially with all the promo companies that I've worked with.
Does that go back to when you said like when you were in high school you were friends with all the cliques?
Yes, actually, that's a great way to describe it. Wow, I never thought of it that way. When I
feel like that's me.
I always let promoters know, yo, I am freelance. I'm not just loyal to just you. Like, because a lot of, there are a lot of companies that are, if they're in the same city, they're competitive against each other. And if you play for him, he's going to get mad. If you play for him, he's going to get mad. Luckily, we're not dealing with that right now in Atlanta. Everybody's eating and everyone's content, and DJs are able to play it everywhere, and nobody's getting upset, and that's really cool. But 3 years ago, it wasn't like that. There was like loyalty, to each club or each promo company.
I think there's still a little bit of clickiness going on around here, but it's definitely good. There's also a lot of open-mindedness
Right,
going on
right, and it's a nice breath of fresh air for me because I don't have to worry about it anymore. Because I always felt like I had to like tippy toe when getting bookings and making sure I'm not upsetting this person or this person. But I think I've been doing it for so long now. They know, okay, Raw is freelance. There is no one loyalty. He's just out here like grinding and just trying to play some dope shows and just do whatever he can to build his name. And it's been a pretty cool experience. That I have that kind of like respect from the promoters, and they don't ever ask me to be loyal like that. But yeah, so with that same respect, I let them all know, like I let everybody know, like, hey, I'm gonna start throwing shows. I'm not trying to like come up in anybody's territory. I'm not trying to throw shows like every month or every week or anything like that. I just want to put some really cool things here and together here and there, just to kind of like start building my financial stability so I can quit my day job and focus on music. And that's basically the goal there. Obviously, like I want to put some awesome stuff for the fans and the people who are going to go. Um, and I'll be using multiple venues and sometimes partnering up with separate promo companies, like because agents don't take you seriously when you're just starting out. They're especially because they have loyalty to the promo companies in each city. Like they have like, oh, this is my guy in this city. Who the fuck are you? Like I don't know who you are. You've never thrown a show. You're like, get the fuck out of here. Like agents are brutal. um,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. So.
I know.
So,
I've thrown some shows.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, and I definitely like, on my hat to all the promoters that have been doing it for years, like in dealing with that, like they have my full respect.
I used to book a lot of comedy shows. I remember I tried to get this girl Leslie Jones down there, who's hilarious, and she's like, I was in San Diego at the time. She was coming down from LA. She's like, I ain't coming down to no San Diego for no $400 and a bag of weed. I'm a real deal headliner. I was like, yeah, fair enough.
It's crazy. Yeah, they get entitled really easily.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I had no business offering her that at all. But yeah, it's tough promoting shows when you don't have a history.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to charge you a lot more, or even not even look at you at all.
Oh yeah, more than likely it's that. They won't even look at you. But luckily, like I've gained a lot of experience from working with a lot of promo companies, and I understand how it's going to be like, and it's just all about like being professional and kind of like utilizing some of the connections I've made over the years. But it's still going to be hard. It's definitely not going to be just an easy thing. But this is the only solution I have to my current predicament, which is not having enough time on my hands. I want to be able to run everything from my home. My financial stability and working on music and sending out emails, and I also like am managing a couple artists like low key. I haven't like revealed that yet or who it is. But it's a lot. There's a lot on my plate that people don't know about, and it'd be way more convenient if I'm just at home all day.
It'll happen, bro. I feel you've got this super pressure and this timeline, but man, you're gonna live forever.
I don't know about forever, but hopefully long enough to get all this done.
Yeah, I'm proud of what you've done so far, man. And I just met you. I just figured you out, and I'm always I'm liking people helping my neighbors move in. I mean, that's a good look in my mind.
I believe in karma, man, a lot. Like because I've watched it like happen over and over. I've done good things like just again, I've been booking artists for to open up for like big shows, like all the like locals and regionals, for 6 years now, like helping out so like nobody knows about that. I never told anybody because I'm not doing it for any credit. I want to help my homies get booked. I want them to get opportunities, and even some people like some people don't know I've helped them, and I'll just get hit up and I have there's a lot of promo companies that trust my judgment on regionals and locals and who should open for what, because I take that seriously. Like about again goes back to the build of the night. Yeah, building up the party.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, we got this show, like I need an opener, like who you suggest who'd be a good fit for this, and I just like I keep up with who's doing what, because they're kind of competition, kind of not, like you want to be aware of who's killing it in your region, because you got to keep your standard up. You're like, oh well, he's hustling. You got to make sure I'm hustling too. I'm proud of him, but I got to keep my hustle up too. So it's good. You have to know who's killing it, or who's doing good, or who's progressing, who's popping up and rising fast. Like, well, I need to make sure I'm on top of my game. So I keep up with that just naturally, and that helps me help people get booked.
So what does Ra come from? Where is that?
Ra is the Egyptian sun god, and he was like basically Ra is basically Egypt's Zeus. He was head of all the gods.
I bet the sun is mad powerful out there in Egypt. What kind of music are Egyptians listening to right now?
Middle Eastern music.
Yeah, so they don't get down with Millennium.
I mean, I'm sure there's definitely some Millennium listeners out there. It's like it's same thing with like, all right, America has pop music, right? That's like the biggest thing. Whatever's on the radio, what do you consider that? Pop?
Yeah.
Okay, so America listens to pop music. Okay, well, there's also people like us who listen to electronic music we're the underground.
Right.
Same thing in Egypt. The majority of everybody listens to Middle Eastern music, But there's an underground scene in every country, in every corner of the world.
So if you look at the Imagine Music Festival lineup, what percentage of those artists are doing shows in Egypt?
Oh, nobody on that lineup is playing Egypt. Is Armin on it?
Yeah.
Armin is on it this year?
He's got to be playing everywhere, right?
I don't know if he's on this year. I know he played it.
No, he's not.
But Armin, oh yeah, that's right. You listen to trance. So
Above and Beyond.
This is good right here. This will be a good subject. Do you know who Ali and Fila are?
I would just say Future Sound of Egypt.
Future Sound of Egypt.
If you talking to the mic.
The Future Sound of Egypt is a label that was created by two Egyptian trance artists called Ali and Fila.
I know them, and I know that label.
And they are huge. They are huge. And I didn't know about them until like maybe only 3 or 4 years ago. But that alone drives me, because they made it while living in Egypt. That is impressive. To get to the scale that they are at by living in Egypt, that is fucking wild. We don't have no fucking clubs out there. We don't have like huge events and stuff like that. It's crazy. They took off because they made a name for themselves in the trance world, and the trance world is everywhere.
When's the last time you were over there?
In Egypt, I was 18. I'm 27 now. It's been a minute. But it's been a long time. But Ali and Fila did some shit that I actually thought of in my head years ago. But I mean, of course they were gonna beat me to it because they're already there. Oh my God, they threw a show at the pyramids.
Oh yeah.
I saw their pictures of that, and I was just so taken away. It looked absolutely stunning. They even lit up the pyramids, like they had like what are those?
What kind of permits do you need for that shit?
Oh, dude, well whatever they have some pull, because they pulled it off.
Wow.
It was great, dude. You got to look up the pictures. They're breathtaking.
Wow.
But they did it twice. The first time they headlined, of course, is their show, Future Sound of Egypt show. It was Future Sound of Egypt 400. It was like their 400th anniversary or whatever, and they threw the show at the pyramids, and it was insanity, dude. It's crazy. Like, just seeing the pictures, it's surreal. And then they did it again. I think it was 450 is when they did it again. They came back to the pyramids, and this time they had Armin headline, and they were his direct support. Like, wow. Like,
yeah.
But of course, Armin is one of the very few people who can play on every corner of the world.
He just had a new YouTube documentary thing kind of pop out. You watched that,
I've watched
Jamie?
it. It's good.
Yeah, I watched it. It was good.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect
Mr.
or some
Perfect,
shit
yep.
like that. He kind of is Mr. Perfect.
Dude, I finally, so he came to Atlanta to Believe.
Yeah.
And I finally he walked right
Powerful
past me.
Vivid got to open for him.
Yeah, he
Dude,
did.
I was
He'll be there tonight at
so tall.
who is?
Armin.
Oh, yeah.
I was not expecting him to be that tall. And someone was like, "Oh, you're just short." No, dude, he's tall. He's really tall.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, because you always just see him just standing there. He's
Yeah.
not next to
No,
anybody.
dude is a tall human being.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times at the Winter Music Conference. You ever go down to Miami for
Dude,
the?
I've actually the only time I've been the farthest down to Florida I've been is Orlando because I opened up
Wow.
for San Holo at Guilt nightclub.
Wow.
That's the farthest. I never got to go to Miami or anything lower.
That surprises me. You should try to go in March. I mean, like, hitch a ride with me. I'll drive down there. And
Dude, I would love. I've never hit Miami. I've barely ever got
he's
to
from
travel.
Miami. We hung out last time. Yeah, we should get Evermix on the show. He's involved with a really like. Do you ever record your mixes?
Last mix I recorded was when I opened up for Seven Lions in Charlotte.
That must have been so awesome for you.
It was my first direct support for him.
I listened to that mix actually. In the gym. That's why.
It was
It's a good mix.
yeah, it was definitely a very important moment for me. Soon after I got to do an official remix for him, but that was about the extent of our relationship. He acknowledges my existence. That's about it for now. I've yet to earn any more, which is fair. I got to put out more music, but that's about it for now. It's awesome that he sent me those vocals, let me work on the track. I hate the mix down. I go back and hear it, and I'm just so frustrated.
I hate basically everything I've ever done, and
Dude.
I have tons of tracks. I just signed the biggest EP I've ever signed on Friday, and I worked on it for 2 years with my partner Jesse. And I'm like, I'm playing a show on Saturday. I'm like, I don't even want to play any of it.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard all of it too much. It's like I'm over it. But I probably will. I'm sure I will play a few songs. I'd like to play some for you actually before you leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
What time is it? Well, dang, wow. We've been doing this for an hour and 30 minutes. Well, this is what happens when an hour and 30 minutes go by and I'm not on my phone. It's bad.
It happens, man. Well, we can get out of here soon.
We can do a part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. This
bring
is
your boy
this is
Sam in
really
here.
cool. Oh, absolutely. I think me and him when we're on camera together, I think we did a live stream together, like working on music, and it actually was a hit. Like everybody like really tuned in, and we weren't expecting it. We just like screw it, let's just work on some music. We can have some people watching, but yeah, I love his company. I will 100% bring him to this if he's actually in town.
Dude, you're welcome over here anytime, man. I always invite anyone who wants to come work on music. Like, I moved here, and people don't really take me up, which I'm like, I'm just chilling here making music. Like, you guys should totally be in here with me. 'Cause, like,
Yeah, no, this is sick. If I need a proper mix down, I know where to go now.
yeah, the room sounds pretty good, actually. I like it, and I ended up loving these monitors. Shout out
This is
to
what I'm missing from my studio is the
Cloud.
the wall clouds.
To be honest, I need this one over here, but the fan fucked it up, so I did it over there.
Yeah.
Acoustically, if I was to do it right, you want both of those to be bigger over the mix position. But yeah,
It was good to know.
It's
Good to know for me, but yeah, I mean, basically all my room is nowhere near this big. My
Hey
studio
man,
room.
you don't need all of this. You don't. You
I
need-
know.
You need to know your headphones, and you need to know your monitors, and you can have KRK Rocket monitors and do great music. Like, I have a friend that has like Rocket 5s, and his music is fucking
I'm
preposterous.
still on the Rocket 5s. I'd like to
You
go.
have Rocket 5s?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
I've
I'm
had
saying,
them. I've had them.
awesome.
They're great. I've had them.
Yeah.
They're a great reference because
They
like
really
a
are.
lot of artists are on them, or the Rocket 8s.
They have all the frequencies,
Mhm.
and if you just
But
know
they
it,
are a little bass heavy. They are a
bass
little
heavy.
bass heavy. You just
Yeah.
have to know them. It's all about knowing your headphones and knowing your
but because
monitors.
they're bass heavy, they sound a little better, which makes you want to work on them more because you enjoy like listening to music. To them. But I definitely wish I kind of had a sub, so I have to go out into the car for that. But it does matter. Having a sub actually is a benefit.
What about sub pack? Have you tried a sub pack?
Yes.
They're
my,
crazy.
My partner Jesse. So I told you I just signed an EP. So I have my own name, Bo Scott, which I make house music, and then which is funny because I was playing my old break song for DJ Hootie Hootie. I was on here last week, and that was interesting. But I don't really make that anymore. But I make house now. But my side project, Bass Machina, I do with my partner Jesse, who's Mexican, which is like Machina is like Spanish for machine, and we also really like that movie Ex Machina.
Yeah.
So it kind of was like,
It's a really good movie.
and it wasn't taken because when we were thinking of like what we wanted to name ourselves, we looked at everything, and everything is fucking taken, dude. Like, we tried everything, it's all taken. We're like, okay, this is not taken. We're gonna use this. Where was I going with this? I have a side project, and
Right.
for some reason I was going to tell you about it. I don't know.
No, I'm down. And that's another thing. I think a lot of people, I've had a lot of people that are like afraid to like walk up and talk to me, like you know, or just like talk to me like I'm just a normal dude. Like, dude, I'm not that big. I've had to tell people like, yo, like I know you've probably seen me on stage, like you know, fans and stuff. Like, oh my god, it's Raw. Like, I don't want people to think I'm bigger than what I am. Like, I get that, you know, of course I want to grow and I want people to know that I'm grinding and growing as an artist, but I'm never going to flaunt that I'm bigger than what I am. I think that's just arrogant.
If you ever got an offer for, let's say, $50,000 to fight in the octagon
Mm-hmm.
with someone that weighed the same as you, would you do it?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, cool. Okay, just wondering. Not an experienced fighter either, just a random Joe that weighed the same as you.
Well, I'd feel bad if he wasn't at least, you know, good at fighting.
What is your MMA background? Were you doing like a specific style, or was
It was just like
mixed?
mixed martial arts, just the full like thing. And
Cool.
again, it was just 1 year. My fighting experience is just what I grew up having to defend myself against bullies.
Mhm.
I just got really, really good at it.
I did the same thing, man. I started martial arts. I got my black belt when I was 15, but then I kind of quit, so I don't really know anything. So
Mhm.
I'm operating a 15-year-old like black belt level, but still, I kind of definitely, you know, you retain some of that shit, really.
Yeah.
But anyways, I know we gotta
Self-preservation.
probably wrap it up soon, but I do have just a couple more questions for you. Number one, I honestly want to know what your legitimate thoughts are on how the pyramids were made, or
So
built, rather.
okay, here I'll blow your mind. Did you watch Interstellar?
Yes,
Best movie
I
I've
did.
ever seen. It
I
is my
watched it.
#1 movie.
It's in the top 10 for me.
It's crazy. So, you know, like
Swordfish
the
is my
only
number
reason
one.
in the movie, the only reason we knew that we needed to get off of Earth is because aliens opened up a portal into space for us to travel through. Do you remember that part?
Sorry, you just blew my mind.
That is
Okay, say that again.
Okay.
I literally want you to repeat that.
in Interstellar,
Mhm,
okay?
yes.
The only reason that we knew we needed to get off planet Earth, or no, we knew we needed to get off planet Earth, but the only reason we knew there was a way out was because a wormhole opened up into space for us to travel to another planet that was habitable, or a couple of different possibilities, and we got a signal from aliens to travel to those planets, and they showed us our multiple options, you know, that are possibly habitable, right? By the end of the movie, I don't want to spoil this. I kind of want to.
No. Spoil. Just say. All
Okay,
you gotta do is say
spoiler
spoiler
alert.
Interstellar.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie.
I just watched it like 2 months ago. Actually,
It's-
again.
My favorite movie,
It's a good one.
100%. 100%. So at the end of the movie, you find out that it wasn't aliens that sent us our signal, or opened a portal for us, or sent us a signal. It was us. The future humanity saved itself. And
Interesting.
what?
Mhm.
What?
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
think about that time loop, like that loop. What is it called? There's a word for it. It's called a bootstrap something. Bootstrap time loop or something like that. But basically, the only reason we knew to save ourselves is because we saved ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
100%. Your past influences your future, and your future influences your past.
right. That's fucking crazy. So, what if the pyramids were built by our future selves?
So built as an obstruction to make us figure out how to do something. So you're
Who
saying,
knows?
yeah. So
What if it's simply
that's what you're. So what you're saying right now is what they're for. I'm wondering how they were constructed.
right by technology from the future? What if our future selves just use some gravity machines and just put fucking stones together? That's a joke to them. Our future selves, let's say someone who can just
Gravity
build,
machines
yeah,
could be.
that's to them that'd be a joke. You know, like, oh, levitation, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. So I still do comedy. So now I'm gonna start writing jokes for the future.
Yeah.
Future. Yeah, I just started. I did comedy for a long time, for 10 years, and then which is why I started this.
Look at that. You're saying I'm killing it. You're a jack of all trades.
I mean, I actually saw a lot of myself in you. Actually, I really, we had a lot of similar traits, a lot of visions, and I really like what you said about what if my parents didn't even get a visa and I never became this person and I stayed in Egypt and I was like something else. Yeah, I used to want to be in the CIA and I applied for this school. I was super straight edge. I never did anything in drugs or anything because I knew that if I wanted to be in the CIA, I would get hair follicle tested or whatever. I applied to a college in Germany to major in international relations and learn German and European languages, and I wanted to legit be an American spy and like go out into the world. And that same year that I applied and to that school, it closed. The school
Damn.
closed. And then so I didn't end up going there. I went to the University of Georgia and they asked me what I wanted to major in and I said I want to do comedy for a living. And then just think about the different path that I would have been on had I got accepted to that school and I went to Germany.
Yeah.
It's like I would not be here
Butterfly
right now.
effect.
100%.
Butterfly effect. It's crazy.
It is crazy. So on that note, what would you like to promote while we get out of here? Where can people find you? Where are you playing next? And what do you want people to know?
I'll be announcing the first Celestial show shortly after Imagine Festival.
Just make sure it's not on a Friday when we do our shows at District.
Don't
Don't do it. There's no option. Don't do it. We will crush you.
I can definitely promise that the first show will not be interfering with any other show. I can make that promise. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, it's gonna be really dope. It won't be something like obviously I don't want to downplay my show, but it's not going to be massive. Like I don't want to like bite more than I could chew early on. That's just a mistake and a very amateur thing to do. But it's going to be a really dope show, really dope lineup, and I'm really stoked to announce it. And yeah, you guys just keep your eye open for the Celestial. You can find Celestial. All of their social media is the same tag. I made sure. It took a while to find one that wasn't taken, but it's at Celestial Ascend. And it's every Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It'll be the quickest way to find it. What shows I'm playing? I am currently have a couple I'm trying to confirm, but nothing significant yet to announce. But there are some ones, really, really good ones in the works.
Say no more. Well, thank you so much for coming on, dude. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we're going to cross paths more often. Thanks to you guys for listening. We're going to head out now and go see Golden Features.
That's where I'm going. Let's go. Awesome.
All right. Thank you, guys. Peace.